What's up, guys? I'm Mason, and this is the Two Takes podcast. Logan is unfortunately not on this episode today. He's been busy lately with school. I'm on spring break this week, so I have a special guest with me. It's my dad. Thank you so much for joining me today. There's been a lot happening lately. And let's start off with the Reds. We reviewed that on Thursday, me and Logan, but they had a big day yesterday. And what are your thoughts on the Reds lately? Finish up the series with the Giants and starting with the Rangers yesterday.
I think so far the Reds, while their record is 2-2 to start the season, overall, I think I've been impressed with them. I know, again, it's
Yeah,
4 games out of an 162 game schedule. Baseball's a marathon, not a sprint. But there's some things I'm seeing that I'm liking from them. They're making contact. They are swinging at good pitches, not swinging at balls in the dirt. Um, in the field. They seem to be playing well. Not as many errors. I know Ellie had an error the other night, but that's going to happen. Um, Pitching, I think pitching has
yeah,
looked good. Starting pitching has been overall pretty impressive. I know Lodello kind of struggled a bit, but he still made it through
yeah.
five.
He only gave up 2 runs in
Yeah,
that
through,
game.
through 6 innings. I think he
Yeah,
ended up going. Green on opening day. I mean, he went 5 or 6
five
innings.
innings,
You'd like to see
8
him get
strikeouts.
an
Yeah,
inning or two, but again, he struck out 8 guys. Um, Anytime you see a pitcher with pushing that many strikeouts, you're going to see their pitch count get high. And in the beginning of the season, especially with how cold it is in Cincinnati, you are they're going to watch their pitch counts. You're not
yeah,
expecting a guy to come out here in this first month and throw 100 pitches.
yeah.
But the bullpen, I thought the bullpen's come in and done pretty well. I know Ian
Debut.
Chabot, how you pronounce his last
Yeah,
name,
whatever. Yeah,
struggled a bit. Um, but then I think he came back in and a couple days later and he pitched the seventh or eighth inning and kind of redeemed himself and he came in and threw a shutout inning. So, um, unfortunately in baseball, good and bad is you're going to have bad outings. That's just how it is. And the
yeah,
best thing about baseball is you get another game usually the next day. And so you move on from it, you learn and improve on your mistakes. And I think that's what he did. And you've seen what a lot of guys do. Um, if I had anything to say negatively about the Reds through the first 4 games, a handful of base running mistakes. Um,
yeah.
I
Definitely.
I can't remember some of the guys, but there was well, I think on opening day, Lux got thrown out at third base trying to extend it. Um,
There was a on Saturday or Sunday against the Giants. There was a guy from second, and he tried to run from third, and the third baseman tagged the guy running to third,
yeah,
and they're at the first, and that was a double play, and there's guys on I
yep,
think second and third.
that's right. So yeah, I mean that I remember that play, and that's common baseball. I mean, you got guys on second and third. If you're on second base and there's less than 2 outs, the ball even 2 outs, the ball's hit in front of you, which means if it's hit to the shortstop in front of you or the third baseman, you don't run. And not only did he run, but he ran right into the tag,
Yeah,
allowing them to get the double play, which in turn took the run off the board. At worst case, if he would have just stopped, the run would
they
have
would have. Yeah,
scored, and then the guy would have been safe at first base. But so I mean that was a big mistake. Even last night, McLean was on third and Dela Cruz was on second. There was a fly ball to the outfield, and I know it. I mean they were winning by 12 at the time, and McLean ended up scoring
yeah,
anyways. But on a fly ball to the outfield, and you're on third base, he was standing 10 steps off the bag instead of being on the bag ready to tag up. And
and it was a hard catch too. Like he had to slide to the ground, and how fast McLean is, he would have definitely got there.
yeah, and last night it didn't matter, but a week from now, a month from now, at the end of the season, and we're in a game where we're down by one or up by one, that run plays a big role into the game.
Yeah,
And so you got to get those base running mistakes out of the way. So I mean, couple base running mistakes that I've seen that I think they need to get cleaned up. But overall, I think I've been pretty impressed with how they've looked through the first 4 games. Now,
yeah.
again,
Something you can go. You can go.
I was gonna say it's a long season, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes. But
Something that's really impressed me with these first 4 games is definitely the starting pitching, and but the thing is how deep they can go because Abbott is on the injured list and he's been a really good pitcher these past couple of years. But Brady Singer yesterday, he went 7 innings, only giving up, I think 1 hit, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. But he went 7 innings, and that's what you need to see out of a team whenever they're up by 12-0, and only using 2 pitchers after that. But another thing is last year they struggled, they were really inconsistent with hitting the ball. And as of right now, they've been hitting the ball. They aren't getting on base, like the scores have been low, but they've been putting some pop into the ball. And that's definitely a good sign because last year they were really inconsistent on all sides of the ball, bullpen, pitching, and hitting, and they've all have had good signs. Just only thing that worries me, if you said multiple times, the closing pitcher. You gotta have a closing pitcher, especially if you want to be a winning ball club. And Alexis Diaz is their closing pitcher, but he's been struggling lately. But Emilio Pagan, he came in on Saturday or Sunday and pitched really well to close the game.
Yeah,
So maybe he'll fill in the spot. But I think I'm drawing a blank. The manager.
Francona.
Yeah, Francona. I think he'll figure it out. He's definitely had experience. He's been on winning clubs, and he'll definitely have it. I think figured out.
Yeah, I think Singer pitched really well last night. I mean, anytime you can get a starting pitcher to go 7 innings and not give up a run, and that makes the game pretty easy for the manager, for the hitters, and for the bullpen. I mean, if you're going to ask
Yeah,
your bullpen to come in and just pitch 2 innings for you, um, that's a big deal. And his pitch count was low. He was throwing strikes, and that's been one of the biggest issues I think with the Reds pitching staff as a whole in the past is
yeah, you
they,
can't go on.
yeah, they're wild and they throw a lot of balls. And I mean, that's been Hunter Green's Achilles heel. I mean, he's been very inconsistent about throwing strikes. He has great stuff. His fastball, curveball, but he's inconsistent. And I think you've seen that step in him last year, and hoping to keep that same momentum going forward with him. Um, and yeah,
Yes,
I agree. They're getting a lot of pop on the balls. They're hitting the balls hard. A couple of these games where these balls have been hit to right field and they're not going out in July, those are home runs once that heat comes in and the wind calms down.
yeah,
Um, but I think having McLean back and healthy, I know Dela Cruz is the money maker and the attention and everything. I said it last year with him being injured, and I say it again this year. I think
yeah,
McLean is their best overall baseball player on that team.
yeah. He had a home run yesterday. He got hit by pitch once. He walked, and then he got a single. He had a total of 3 RBIs. But yeah, I think McLean's more consistent than Ellie, but I think the potential's higher for Ellie. He had 7 RBIs, which that's a career high for him.
Yeah, I think Ellie will definitely probably put up better numbers if you look at
Yeah.
the. But I think if you look at the overall, you're going to see McLean's probably going to be a little bit more valuable. I think
Yeah.
they're both going to be valuable. I think with Ellie is you want to see him make improvements in his strikeouts,
Which yeah,
uh,
he's definitely had
which
these first 4 games.
yeah, so far he's looked good. He's not swinging at pitches in the dirt and the junk in the dirt. So that's good. And then you want to see him cut down on the errors in the infield. Because I think last year he either led the MLB or was in the top five in both errors and strikeouts.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that's true.
and so you don't want that at all.
Yeah.
And so if and I know he's had one error, um, not an easy play, but it was a play he should have made.
Yeah. Another thing is it's in the cold, but still you gotta make those plays. But just to finish up this topic, it's really good to see these catchers hitting the ball really well. 2 days ago with was it Wins? He hit a
Yeah.
home run.
Yep.
And yesterday Trevino went 2 for 4, 2 singles, but 2 strikeouts. But still, catchers aren't supposed to be like top hitters, but if they can get on base, he's the ninth hitter. They were both ninth hitters, and if you can hit the ball really well down in the lineup, you'll definitely be good.
Yeah, I think they're helping buy time for Stevenson with Stevenson being
Yeah,
out. I mean, when Stevenson's healthy and back, he's the catcher. But it's
yeah,
also going to allow them to give Stevenson a day off. I mean, right nowadays, you're not expecting a catcher to catch all 162 games.
Nah, definitely not.
And so, but you need to have somebody that can fill in and not just be an automatic out. And so, anytime you can see two guys fill in like that, I think that's good.
Yeah. So Reds, they look good so far. Now moving to the next topic. All one seeds in March Madness Final Four. Last time that's happened was 2008. We can review these two games, and then next will be NFL. A lot to talk about. But Houston and Duke. Who do you think has the advantage on in that game?
I mean, I think if you would have asked me in the beginning, and I think in the beginning when I did fill out my bracket, I had Houston going to the championship. Um, I didn't have Duke in the Final Four. Yeah, I thought their age would be a hindrance to them, but I
Yeah,
think they've definitely proved me wrong on that. I thought they were a good team, but I just in the past you see these freshman loaded teams kind of struggle in the tournament, and you're not seeing that from Duke. I think part
yeah,
of that is because Cooper Flagg is the real deal. Um,
and they have so much other
Yeah, and they have a lot of
stuff.
talent, and they
Yeah,
and they do have some veteran leadership. I know they got the kid from Purdue,
yeah,
which I think this is his fifth year. So obviously, with Purdue playing as well as they did the last 2 years,
yeah, and he was on top
yeah.
teams.
So he's got that kind of that veteran leadership, which is a little different than what you've seen from like Calipari's teams in the past at UK, where they were all loaded with
Yeah,
freshman kids. So you got a mixture of that. So I think that helps Duke out. Like I said, I in the beginning of the year I had or in the beginning of the bracket, I had Houston going to the championship. I think if I had to do a repick right now, I would probably pick Duke.
yeah. I think they've looked the best out of all the teams.
Yeah, going into last weekend or into the Elite Eight, I said the two best teams so far that I thought throughout the whole tournament in every game was Duke and Tennessee, and then Tennessee came out and laid a big egg against Houston.
Yeah.
Um, but but Duke has looked impressive in every game they've played.
Yeah, holding
Um,
Alabama to 60 points
yeah.
is impressive because Alabama is the one of the probably the best offense you'll play against.
Yeah. Now, I think if
But
anybody can beat Duke, I think it could be Houston. Houston has a tough defense, and
yeah,
if you
and
get
their
Cooper Flag,
experience.
yeah, if you get Cooper Flag in foul trouble, it's a different Duke team. You've seen it in the ACC tournament with North Carolina when Cooper Flag was in foul trouble. I mean, North Carolina was kind of running away with that game, and until Cooper Flag started kind of running and actually
That
not
was the
having to
last
worry
game of
about
this.
fouling out.
Yeah, regular season, not
Okay.
ACC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that game will definitely be good. Houston and Duke both top. Houston, I think, has the better defense, and I think Duke has a better offense. But they both have veteran coaches on that squad. Definitely be a good game. But next game, SEC versus SEC, Florida and Auburn. Florida SEC postseason champs, and Auburn SEC regular season champs. Who do you think has the edge in that one?
Um, that one's a little bit tougher. I mean, they've obviously played each other throughout the season. I don't know what those outcomes were during the season.
Yeah,
Um,
they're all inconsistent.
I think both teams have been a little inconsistent in this tournament. I think Florida's lucky to be here. I think they probably should have lost to Texas Tech. Um,
Yeah, that foul.
yeah, I think, but they're here, and so I mean,
Yeah,
the past doesn't matter. If I had to pick, I would say I would probably lean with Florida right now. I think they're better scorers than Auburn is. But
yeah.
I think Auburn probably has a little bit more experience and more leadership. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I think I would pick Auburn in that one because of veteran leadership.
yeah, but if you came to me and I didn't watch any of that game and you said Florida won by 15 or Auburn won by 15 or Florida won by 2 or Auburn won by 2, I don't think I'd be shocked by any of the results.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah.
because
Definitely.
I both teams have been pretty consistent throughout the tournament. I don't think either team has played a full game. Maybe the most recent when Auburn played Michigan State, but even there were times where in that game where Auburn was up big, and then all of a sudden you turn the game on, and Michigan State's battled back to within 6.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think I think it could go either way. I don't think either team has a big
Yeah.
advantage over the other team. I think it's just who shoots better that game. If Florida comes out and shoots better, I think they can put up a lot of points pretty quick.
Yeah, well, it's funny because you have Florida winning it all and I have Houston winning it all, and so whoever wins that wins our family bracket.
Yeah.
So it'll be good. I'm pretty worried about Duke though because Duke, I had them losing on like Thursday night. I had them losing to Arizona, and that was still a good game, but I just worry about Duke. But they've definitely proved a lot of people wrong, I think. Um,
Yeah, I think if I had to redo my bracket with the Final Four that we have now, I would 100% pick Duke to win it all. I wouldn't
yeah,
even. I don't know if I would even consider any of the other three teams right
yeah,
now. Just the way Duke has looked so far throughout the whole tournament.
yeah. I think definitely. I think Duke's definitely winning it all. So really good Final Four. All one seed since 2008 again. It's been, I think, a good tournament, but I think it could definitely been better. But the bad thing is the biggest upset was a 12 versus 5 seed, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I think
Um,
every year you're used to seeing the upsets, and I mean some years you're not going to see them. I think what
yeah,
fans are kind of questioning right now that with the transfer portal, with the NIL, is this year going to be the new norm? Are we not going to see as many upsets as we usually do?
yeah,
I guess, I mean, obviously, we only have 1 year to compare that information on. We'll be able to look at it next year and see what it looks like next year. But you're already seeing with the transfer portal. I use Drake as an example, right? Drake had a decent run in the tournament. Um, and their main player is leaving. He's going to Iowa, I believe. And so already
yeah,
you're seeing the main players for these smaller teams and these mid-conference teams to get to move on to bigger schools, and rightfully so. They should be. They right now the rules
yeah.
allow them to do it, and they should take
But who
advantage
like
of it.
who blames us? Like how much money? Like another example, Kennesaw State, Louisville just got a guard that's a 5-star in the transfer portal. How much more money he'll get out of Louisville than Kennesaw State is crazy.
Yeah,
Like, and 9 times out of 10, even probably more, these kids are gonna take those deals, and there's good out of it, there's bad out of it. But I really like seeing those upsets in March Madness. It just gives it like it's in March Madness. Like you always have to have upsets.
yeah.
But
I think that's why people watch March Madness is for the upsets. Um, and I mean, for someone like me, I'm a UC fan, and UC's never going to be in the tournament again. Um, so I don't have anybody to ever cheer for. So it's nice for me as a fan to be able to watch the games and not have to cheer for anybody or be upset when your team loses.
yeah,
Um, and
yeah,
so
definitely.
I think I hope to see the upsets come back. I hope this year was just kind of a fluke for it, but we'll see next
Yeah,
year
I
and what it looks
definitely.
like.
I big stuff been happening in NFL. We can talk about this real quick, but the main thing, Aaron Rodgers, he was seen throwing with DK Metcalf at UCLA. Do you think that means that he'll sign with the Steelers, or do you think that means nothing?
I think you'll probably see him sign with the Steelers. I think I don't know what's going on with him. I think Aaron Rodgers is not the same Aaron Rodgers that was in Green Bay. I think you've seen that in New York.
Yeah.
Now, New York has been well known for having quarterbacks that they've kind of ruined their careers.
Yeah.
But I think Aaron Rodgers is done. I think he just needs to call it quits. I don't think he has the talent that he once had in Green Bay, and I don't think he is going to provide much more than what Russell Wilson did with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think honestly, if they had, I mean, they had obviously could have got anybody. I think I would have chose to keep Justin Fields over Wilson or Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I
Um,
think Fields was definitely the better.
yeah,
But
I
Mike
think
Tomlin, you can go. My bad.
no, I think the worst thing with if Aaron Rodgers does go to Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin is probably going to quit because having to sit there and deal with Aaron Rodgers and his craziness, and then deal
Yeah.
with DK Metcalf and who knows what he's thinking half the
Yeah,
time
and
he's on
George
the field.
Pickens.
And yeah, then George Pickens might be the worst out of all three of them. And you're going to have a babysitter for each of those players just to keep them under control. And
Yeah, these
and
will have more flags.
yeah, I mean the Steelers, if they do get Aaron Rodgers, they might be must watch TV because I can only imagine when Aaron Rodgers starts underthrowing DK Metcalf and George
Yeah, or
Pickens.
it'll
I
kill
mean,
him.
one of them might Antonio Brown it and just throw their equipment into the crowd and quit.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah. So I don't know what the Steelers' answer is. Um, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. I
Uh,
think Mike Tomlin's a great coach, but I think he's in a tough spot right now with those two wide receivers. It's a shame too because those two wide receivers, in all seriousness, have amazing talent. It's
yeah.
just from neck up is a little iffy on what's in there. They've done some crazy stuff in their
Yeah.
games. Maybe they get it fixed. I don't know. And they if they do, they both have the ability to be top wide receivers in the NFL. But from what I've seen in the past, I've also seen a lot of headaches that come with them too. And I don't know. And this isn't anything like I mean George Pickens. You've seen it at Georgia. He did a lot of goofy things at Georgia too.
Yeah.
So I think it's just something you're going to get with him, and you got to pick and choose on is it worth the talent. Some teams think it is, some teams don't think it is. Right now, the Steelers seem to be okay with it, going out and getting DK Metcalf to go with him.
Yeah. Mike Tomlin did say that he is okay with having Mason Rudolph as his starting quarterback, so that might be a hint that he does not want Aaron Rodgers as his starter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I seen a report coming from Aaron Rodgers that they said he was asking for 2 years, 70 million. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's true or not.
that
I there's no
that would be
way I would
crazy. Yeah.
give Aaron Rodgers that type of money. I don't even know if I'd sign him to a 2 year
2 year,
contract.
yeah, no, I'd sign him to a 1 year. If I even had to sign him, like
Yeah,
I would go out and draft like Dylan Gabriel or like Jalen Milrow or someone a quarterback. They have the 21st pick. They can trade up for a quarterback or even trade back for like a quarterback. But
yeah,
um, just telling you, Rangers have hit a home run in the second inning already, 1-0.
yeah.
Um. But going on to the next topic, NFL has all the owners met up and they've talked about a bunch of topics. We'll get into the ones that are most talked about, but the topics they talked about is wild card seeding, um, defensive holding and illegal contact to eliminate automatic first downs, replay assist, new kickoff, regular season OT change, and tush push ban. We've talked about it multiple times, but what are your thoughts? Do you think the tush push should be banned, or do you think it shouldn't?
I mean, I think there's some like caveats that come to all of that. So I think the biggest thing in my argument has been I'm fine with the tush push. I think it's you know what, try to stop it. My issue with it is allowed on offense, but it is not allowed on defense or special teams. So I think if you're going to allow it on offense, you need to allow it on defense and special teams. And so what that means is if a team is going for an extra point or a field goal, and if you want to put three guys over the center, the long snapper, and push, then so be it. And I know they do that right now for safety reasons, but safety reasons exist on offense, defense, and special teams. They don't
Yeah,
just exist on defense and special teams. So I think the rule needs to be fair across the board. If they're going to allow it for offense, you need to allow it for defense and special teams. If
and
they're
talking about
not going to allow it for defense and special teams, then they need to ban it for offense too.
yeah, and talking about the medical stuff, they did push back that topic for another time because of medical issues that those people have. But I don't care for it. Like if they have it, they have it. If they don't, they don't. But yeah, definitely with your thing. If you're all have it, you have to have it on defense and special teams. And if they don't end up doing it, and they do keep on the tush push, like you said, it's just they'll be an offense driven league. And but I don't think the only thing I can see is other teams can do the tush push. It's just the Eagles are really good at it, and the Bills they can be good at it. But once Josh Allen, his only way he can go is the left, and everyone knows that. Um, but yeah, that's a big topic. But next topic, regular season overtime change. So they'll change it to the playoffs overtime. I don't know all the details about it, but I think it's definitely a good thing. But what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it can be a good thing. I would like to see the overall rules. I think I like the idea of both teams getting to touch the ball.
Yeah,
I think that's good. Um, I think college overtime has the right idea. I think theirs is almost perfect. I think that's what I would like to see the NFL go to.
Yeah.
What I would not, my worry is in overtime right now they keep it at 10 minutes. And so if a team gets the ball, and how does it determine? I mean, if they go down the field and have a 10-minute drive, is it over? And they kick a field
Yeah.
goal in 10 minutes, or does the other team get the ball no matter what? Where's the deciding factor? If I get the ball and I have the ball for 9 minutes and 45 seconds, and then you get the ball for 15 seconds, obviously that's, I mean, you got the ball. So yeah, both teams touch the ball, but there's a big difference there in time of
Yeah.
possession. So I'm curious to see what the overall rules are with it. Again, I think it's a good thing that both teams are getting a chance to touch the ball, but I think there's still some things they can touch up on it that you're going to see. Still, whoever gets the ball first pretty much control the overtime, and that's
Yeah.
where I say college. That's not how it goes. You get the ball first, you control the overtime. You get to choose. Right, I got the ball. I want to play defense. But if you end up tying after that first overtime, well, you're going into a second overtime, and now the ball is flipped. So now, if you started on defense the first time, you're starting on offense the second time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it can be good. It's just if they put good stuff into it. I don't know every single detail about it. Maybe they did do it. Maybe they probably will release that soon. Um, but two more topics that have been big. I think we all agree with the wild card seeding. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, yeah,
If there
yeah.
because
Go ahead.
if you see like a 9-8, like the last couple of years, there's always been the team that's like 9-8. And they're a 4 seed, and then like the Vikings last year, they ended up losing, but they were like 13-4.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean the entire NFC South, right? I mean the
yeah,
NFC South, their goal as a division is to
yeah,
see who can finish 500.
yeah,
We just want to finish one team above, one game over 500, and then that's it.
yeah,
Um, and
yeah,
I think it benefits these. And the Vikings are a perfect example. They lost their division to the Vikings, and so they went from a 1 seed to what, a 5 seed,
yeah,
with
yeah. Once they lost that Lions game,
with pretty much no home. I mean, without any home games. And so I think it's good to reward those teams with a home game. I
yeah,
mean, winning your division should get you into the playoffs, but it shouldn't give you the right to a home game.
yeah, definitely. And a big thing is the new kickoff. I don't like how they moved it to the 35. Like you said, 20 yards, you're already in almost field goal range. Definitely with the kickers today, they can flipping their legs are big as people's bodies. Um, but what are your thoughts on the kickoff? Just hurrying up. We're 28 minutes in.
Yeah, I think it's stupid. I think if you're worried about players getting hurt on kickoffs and sitting there moving the touchback to the 35-yard line, I mean you've cut out more than a quarter of the field. Uh,
Yeah,
you throw one 20-yard pass, I mean they're in field goal range at that point.
yeah,
I mean, if just do it I like the old ways. Touchback, you put them at the 20. I mean, at that point, you're requiring a team to get at least 3 first downs to hit midfield. If they get 10 yards of play,
yeah,
obviously there's big plays that happen, but you're making the teams earn it at that point. Starting at the 35, you don't have to earn it that much. I mean, it doesn't take much for these teams to get a first down now.
yeah,
Um, and you get one first down, a 10-yard run. I mean, you're at midfield already, and all you need is another first down, and you're pretty much in field goal range at that point.
yeah,
Um, again, I think the NFL, without them saying it, I think they want this to be an offensive league, and they want points. The NFL would be totally happy if they had a game that was 50-45.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I think they would rather see a game at 50-45 than they would 6-3,
Yeah,
and I think that's why you're seeing these kickoffs move further up the field, try to shorten the field, and
yeah. It's
up
a money driven league.
yeah up the scoring, and you see that with the quarterbacks. I mean, look at the contracts the quarterbacks are getting.
Yeah, and how much
Um,
protection they have too.
yeah, and I mean you can't touch the quarterbacks. So
Yeah,
they know the quarterbacks are the face of their league, and that's where the money's at. And I mean the NFL is a business, and they're trying to make as much money as they can. And so I think
yeah,
that's where you're getting these rules. But I don't like the idea of it going out to the 35. I didn't like it going out to the 30. I think they should just take it to the 20 and let's go from there. Or just eliminate the kickoff altogether and just stick the ball at the
Start,
30
yeah,
yard line
yeah,
and start from there like we did in youth football.
yeah. And I think this is the next another thing. I think it's really good how they're doing a replay assist. Um, if there is enough evidence, like just like looking at it, they can pick up a flag and the spot of the ball. I think that's really good. Because there's been definitely calls that aren't right and they can't change it. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole point of replay is to get the call right. And I think you're still seeing some calls that are missed and that are overturned, whatever it be. So anytime you can eliminate that error, I like. I know human error is a part of the game and part of everything, but some of these that are just plain obvious, getting those eliminated, I think is nothing but good for the game.
Yeah, definitely. So this is all we got. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Dad, so much for joining me for this episode. We'll have probably more special guests if Logan isn't available. Me and Logan are probably will be the main ones on here. I'm probably will be on here for most of the time. Maybe Logan will film one with someone. Um, but thank you, Dad, so much for joining me. Really appreciate you. Um, but I'm Mason. Um,
And I'm Mason's dad.
Yep. And this is the Two Takes podcast. Thank you so much. And like and subscribe and follow us on Spotify. And Logan's handling the TikTok account. We'll keep you guys updated for the next episode. But thank you guys so much.
Bye.